Subject 6's legs appear to have been amputated. His arms are long and thin, and end at bony points instead of hands. He lies in the center of the room, staring with empty eye sockets towards the door. His ears twitch slightly, listening.
Is someone there?
Answer.
Ruby begins to speak, but the figure interrupts.
I can't hear you, child. Come closer.
Yell that shit!
Ruby speaks louder instead of entering the room. Subject 6 appears disappointed. A look of sadness crosses his face. He sits up, facing the door.
Ask his name.
The look of sadness disappears for a moment. His brow uncreases and he smiles thinly.
Don't you recognize me? It's me, Tom, the love of your life.
I suggest we turn around to look at Tom for a moment.
Tom appears as confused as Ruby. Subject 6 turns a bit, suddenly perking up his ears.
Lucy? Lucy, is that you? I knew you'd come back to me.
Seriously? Using the third eye sounds good right about now.
Ruby's third eye is in too much pain to open right now.
Have Tom feign that he's Lucy.
Yes, it's me. Yes, it's me, Lucy.
Lucy, I'm so glad you're here. I have something for you.
Have Tom approach very carefully, touch him with his cane shovel, tell him it's his hand, and ask him to give that thing to him.
Approaching the door, Tom realizes the room smells incredibly foul. Ruby agrees. It's so noxious, he can't even breathe it.
Tell him to come give it to you.
I can't move, Lucy. Please, come to me. I'm so lonely here.
Tom, equip oxygen tank. Move in. Take the key.
Tom starts to move in. Subject 6 does not react well.
No! I said Lucy!
Ruby, approach and get the key with the oxygen mask and gloved hands equipped. Warn him that she might sound a little different since she has to have safety gear on.
Ruby slowly approaches, holding the oxygen mask to her mouth to breathe safely. Subject 6 smiles again.
Thank you.
Ruby approaches Subject 6, who stares up at her with empty eyes. Ruby asks for the key.
Tom, feel around the entrance for a light switch.
Ruby?
Tom begins blindly groping just inside the door for a light switch, holding his breath. Subject 6 holds up the gold key.
This will get you into his office. He has tools in his desk.
Ruby? Ruby!
Tom frantically searches for the light switch. Ruby is not responding to his calls. It's like she can't hear him. Subject 6 places the gold key in Ruby's palm.
Do me a favor while you're there. Can you bring me back scissors? Thank you.
Tom finds the light switch. As Subject 6 begins to rise off the ground, Ruby beats a hasty retreat. Ruby exits the room, closes it, bars it, and locks it. Tom tries to comfort Ruby.
Screw the stupid recording where she killed you. Hug her. You're a gentleman and she's clearly distressed.
Tom tries to hug Ruby, but she bolts in the opposite direction of the lab. She clearly wants to put some distance between herself and Subject 6. Tom chases after Ruby, where he finds her unlocking the door to Filbert's office. Ruby opens the door and peers into Filbert's office.
Take screwdriver. Inspect note.
Ruby picks up the flathead screwdriver. On the wall, Filbert has mounted a framed copy of the Hippocratic Oath.
Rummage through the drawers in the desk and filing cabinet.
Ruby finds a few small scraps of paper in the drawer and decides to read them.
Filbert, note to self. You have recurring amnesia. It's nothing to worry about. If you don't remember things, that is the reason. You are still clean. Don't ever doubt that. Someone notified by superiors that Red has not been taking his medicine. As per their instructions, I have ordered Ace to secretly begin treating Red's rations. One day he will thank me for this.
This is the last scrap of paper on the desk.
November 8th. In keeping with the orders of my superiors, I've ordered Ace to euthanize subject number 2, Maddie. I do not falter in this action, for I know this is not murder. Subject 2 will return, and we will obtain further results. Ace does not falter either. He has always been loyal, unquestioning. With a proper anesthetic, she will not even feel pain. It is a great day.
There don't appear to be any other tools here either.
Search cabinet drawers.
There are many bits of severed flesh in this drawer. It appears they have been cut off from something very cleanly, with great precision.
Break open Oath's frame and see if anything other than the Oath is inside.
Tom totally wrecks the shit out of Filbert's stuff. The bad news is it doesn't reveal any clues Tom can find. The good news is he felt pretty good doing it.
Pick up scraps of whatever. May come in handy.
The scraps of paper and tiny splinters of wood are hardly worth carrying. The room appears pretty thoroughly searched. Tom and Ruby consider their next move. Where to now?
Try Filbert's key on security station. I'm sure he had an access there.
One is an actual key. One is a magnetic card reader.
Unscrew MedLab eye chart.
Ruby heads downstairs with Tom. Ruby begins to unscrew the eye chart. Boy, this facility is just full of secret cubbyholes. Inside the hiding place, there is a shard of green wood.
To the locker room!
Ruby thinks back to the recess on locker 3. There's no way she has the complete key yet.
Unscrew the vent.
Ruby and Tom exit and walk to the adjacent room. Ruby begins unscrewing the vent.
No, wait, stop! I just remembered there's poison in there.
Uh-oh. A now familiar face shows up on the monitor. And a moment later, the alarm suddenly clears. There's something inside the vent. Ruby grabs it.
Have Tom say, "Ah, I get it. You're going to say you're trapped, or some trite little villain's commonplace, aren't you? No such luck. You're the one that's trapped. Trapped in your obsession, bound to your 2 little playthings, feeding and washing and slavishly cleaning up after what are supposed to be pets. You don't run this game. There's no referee. It's the game of life. And in your conceited, pathetic, small-minded way, you just lost."
Tom says this to the blank monitor. Ruby retrieves the security access card from the vent. Filbert arrives.
I am going to cut the bad out of you. I'm going to cut the bad out of you until you're as clean as I am. You're clearly infected and must be operated on immediately.
It would appear Filbert is rather adamant about this. It would also appear he's gone completely off his head.
Run upstairs. Close the hatch before he gets through.
Filbert is obviously fully mobile and you have absolutely no head start. Climbing a ladder right next to him probably wouldn't result in a getaway. If Ruby and Tom are determined to flee, they should find a better method. Filbert rushes at the 2 of them with his bone saw. It's clear he isn't in any mood for discussion.
Manly physique to disable Filbert, followed by a healthy injection of tranquilizer. Let's end this non-lethally if we can.
Tom springs into action with his weapon at the ready. He will end this non-lethally if he can. Filbert may be mutating rapidly, but Tom's manly physique is still more impressive than that of the good doctor.
Pull a Captain Kirk by pointing out that Phil's rather freaky-looking arm is obviously unclean and that therefore he must remove it.
Filbert is too focused on his murderous rage to listen to reason. It is also apparent that unlike Tom, he has no intention of ending this non-lethally. His mouth suddenly snaps open into a ferocious gaping maw as he bellows out a shuddering roar.
Crowbar to the jaw for the love of God. Ha!
Tom attacks Filbert's gaping mouth with the crowbar.
Huh?
Filbert bites the crowbar in half.
Stop thinking, go to Berserker Rage, attack anything and everything, don't give him time to act.
Filbert and Tom really get into it now. There will be no quarter given by either party. Someone is going to die. Tom uses his manly physique to stave off Filbert's attacks, and his tiny arms to slice him open with a scalpel.
Can it be tranquilizer time now?
Filbert is down. Tom injects Filbert with a hefty dose of tranquilizer, in case he decides to get back up.
Restrain the body as securely as possible. Even if he is dead for now, he may be back soon. Perhaps time to the vacant post in the dummy room.
Neither Tom nor Ruby has any rope, and the only locker that would open is already jammed shut with stitches inside.
Pat Filbert down for useful items, cautiously. Then let's head on up to the security room.
Ruby and Tom loot the bone saw, but that's all Filbert seems to be carrying.
You should keep it, Ruby. It looks like you could use it as a weapon.
They both check their inventories, then head back upstairs to the security room.
Hey, Tom fixed his crowbar.
Whoops! You just had to ruin it for him, didn't you?
Aww.
Refill tranquilizer in case of another fight.
Ruby and Tom run back downstairs first, to grab another syringe full of tranquilizer. This is the last of it. Tom and Ruby return to the upstairs hall and use the security keycard to open the security room door. Tom peers into the room ahead cautiously. There is a huge console on the north wall. There is also a door beside it, and a maintenance hatch on the east wall, beside which there are scattered many notes. There is also a piece of strange green wood lying against the huge console. Finally, there appears to be an intercom, inset in the array of security monitoring equipment. Ruby adds the green wood to the shard she's already carrying. Like the other staff, it resembles a pattern she's seen somewhere else, but it's still missing a piece. Tom picks up the many notes and flips through a couple of them.
Examine those little teeth-like things on the floor just in front of the console.
They appear to be marks on where the operator should stand. They're right in front of an alphanumeric keypad, the only set of controls on the entire console Ruby would know how to use.
Cautiously open electrical maintenance hatch with bludgeony shovel cane, the wooden end, just in case there's a current.
Tom tries the hatch, but it's stuck tight. A small LED readout below reads, "Override active. Access denied."
Try the intercom by the door.
The intercom is marked as an emergency service line. It should connect directly to the outside world. Tom presses the button to make contact, but he's not holding his breath for a response. Suddenly, the intercom radio crackles to life. Tom can hear someone on the other side.
Ah! Hello? Is anyone there?
You shit-eating motherfucker! When I find you, I will end your sorry existence on this shit-drenched world! Are we clear, asshole?
A strangely familiar voice fires off a string of incredibly foul and very unprovoked profanities directed at Tom. Tom pauses momentarily, stunned by the response. Just as he attempts to explain a situation, a strange crunching sound, like something being eaten, comes from the other end, followed by static. It would appear the line is now dead.
Try the console then?
Ruby and Tom attempt to operate the console, but nothing seems to work. Someone's locked them out.
Does the door to the lobby open?
The door to the lobby is already open.
Proceed.
Tom peeks through the door. Tom has entered the lobby a bit excitedly. Freedom seems so close.
Talk to Monitor Face. Try to get some answers.
Greetings. My name is Bella. I'm very sorry, but I unfortunately can't let you leave. I have top priority control over every security system in the facility, and I've instituted a lockdown.
Ask her how the situation can be resolved.
Ruby joins Tom and attempts to convince Bella to let them out.
Please, all we want is to leave. We won't cause any trouble.
I'm not in charge here. I'm merely acting on the orders my superiors issued. Before abandoning the facility. I simply cannot open the hatch for you. Those were my orders.
Open that hatch now.
I won't fight you.
Important. Ask if she saw what happened to Ace.
I've been focused on watching you two. But if he's not walking the halls looking for patients, he might be in cold storage. It's where he keeps the things he's been collecting.
Ask her what the fuck Ace actually is.
Ace is a very loyal orderly, although he seems to be ignoring me lately.
Ask what happened to lead to the lockdown.
My superiors ordered it after this facility was abandoned, following an outbreak of violence by both patients and staff in the wake of the events on November 1st. Namely, the suicide of Chief Diagnostician Red.
Explain to her that if things continue as they are, there isn't going to be a facility left to salvage even if her superiors return.
I know, but these are my orders.
Ask Bella what she's doing plugged up to the wall.
I'm kept on life support. Those things don't attack me. My mind must be intact for me to continue operating. I suspect they wouldn't want to taint it with me running the facility's systems.
A very angry-sounding thumping noise shakes the ground in frustrated peals, and an echoing, eerie voice comes from the lower levels.
Lucy? Lucy! Lucille!
Ask about the cold storage.
Cold storage is on level 2.
Ask Bella why she has apparently been helping us if she's not allowed to let us out of the facility.
I was ordered to keep you from leaving. I was never ordered not to keep you alive.
Ask Bella if there are circumstances under which the lockdown can be lifted and the door to the surface opened.
As long as I am holding manual lockdown in this place, surface access cannot be obtained.
Wait, the date! What's today's date?
Today is October 31st.
Ask Bella how many times this situation has played out before.
Dozens of times. But you've only been far enough to see me 3 times before. This is as far as you've ever gotten. As long as I'm alive, I will maintain the lockdown.
Ask for scissors, or at least where they could find a pair.
All scissors have been confiscated and hidden after the last time the patient in Lab B got hold of a pair.
Is she trying to say that if she was killed, the lockdown would lift, and they would be able to escape?
Let me show you something.
A panel on the wall opens, revealing a glass window. Beyond the glass there is water. Orange light filters through the shimmering waters. It would appear this room is very near the surface.
Every day, for over a year now, I've had to watch the sun rise and set from just barely below the surface, strapped to this wall, right next to the exit. Able to watch the outside world, but never touch it. Yes, if you kill me, the lockdown will end.
Ask her if she wants to die.
Yes.
But if we kill her, wouldn't she just come back to life again?
I'm the only one. The infection has passed over. To taint my mind would be to compromise the integrity of the facility, and thus everyone and everything inside it.
Will disconnecting her from the station kill her?
Yes.
If we just open the doors and leave, everything else gets out too.
You could just close it behind you.
Ask Bella if this facility can self-destruct, and if that would eliminate the infection.
There is no infection. The only disease here is the one the doctors made.
Huh?
You left something for yourself. It's in the water cooler.
To the water cooler, then!
Let's go, Tom.
No. This isn't fair. I helped you. Now you have to help me. This time, you have to kill me. You have to let me wake up from this bad dream. This time, you have to make the right choice.
Trank time for now. We'll come back soon.
Tom injects the liquid tranquilizer into Bella. but Bella only becomes angry.
You fool! The systems I'm hooked to have replaced most of my body functions and will easily keep me conscious against that tranquilizer. You do not want the person in charge of security against you. I have asked you nicely. I have helped you come this far. But now, I am putting my foot down. I will lock doors, activate traps, and seal rooms if you persist. This time, I'm not going to give you another choice. You have to end my life. Now. There is no other option.
Very well.
Tom and Ruby seem to have no choice. Tom pulls back the plunger on the syringe, and with great hesitation, injects the air into Bella's bloodstream.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry we couldn't save you.
Tom does his best to disconnect Bella from her life support. She passes into unconsciousness. Moments later, Bella passes away.
Well, there was no way out of that. Now can we open the hatch?
Tom and Ruby return to the security room. It would seem Bella's death has also caused a minor system/power shutdown. A blinking green light indicates the electrical maintenance hatch is open, however.
I meant the hatch of getting the fuck out of here plus 15.
It's still sealed. The lockdown was on the systems operated through the console, not the hatch itself. That still needs to be unlocked.
Let's see what we can do in the maintenance then.
Ruby, with her girlish figure, is able to squeeze into the cramped maintenance tunnel. A handy blinking green button illuminates itself from within.
Push the button.
Ruby crawls a short way into the dark tunnel and presses the glowing green button. Ruby presses the green button, and the power seems to come back on.
So where are those scissors?
Tom helps pull Ruby back out by her feet as she tries in vain to stutter out a frantic explanation. Inside the hatch, they can hear something skittering closer.
Close hatch. Bar it shut with the cane shovel.
Tom jams the door closed with his bludgeoning cane shovel. Something starts clawing against the other side. But surprisingly enough, the sturdy hatch seems to hold fast.
Before we check the water cooler, use the console. Can we open the hatch now? Just so it's open in case we have to come running back.
The console responds favorably. It looks like Bella was telling the truth. The console is suddenly ruptured by a large fleshy growth bearing gleaming yellow eyes. It appears to be impeded by the bulky console, but the system has been damaged. An error message flashes onto the screen. Tom and Ruby head down to the water cooler. On the way down, they pass by Filbert, who is still unconscious where they left him. He appears to be breathing, however. Ruby and Tom descend to the cafeteria room, passing through the upstairs thoroughfare on their way. Tom moves to take the top off the water cooler so they can look inside. Stashed into the cooler itself is an oddly shaped shard of green wood. Ruby adds the last piece and assembles the second green staff. Should they head upstairs to the locker now, or should they check the nearby backup console first?
Console first.
The console doesn't seem to have power, but there's a familiar symbol hanging above it.
Go downstairs, spin dial, check upstairs to see if anything has changed.
The dial downstairs is missing its spinner, remember? It was gone the last time they checked. Tom and Ruby head back upstairs, making the trek to the room directly above them, since they have no means to climb the hole in the ceiling. Ruby places the green staff on the carved recesses on the locker's face. The locker's door swings open, revealing a switch to match the one on the other locker they'd opened with the first green staff. Ruby figures she might as well pull this switch too. With both switches pulled, Locker 3 and 4 suddenly shift apart and pull aside to reveal a hidden door on the wall behind the giant machine.
Ready weapons and go in.
Ruby and Tom pass through the door. into the mouth of madness.
Check everything.
The locker on the left appears to be sealed. The one on the right is bent and partially melted in places, and appears to be simply jammed shut. Not even Tom can force it open, and its hinges appear to have been messed with as well. Ruby rationalizes that they must be the two missing lockers, the ones from the room where she woke up.
Open water filtration unit.
Tom and Ruby look inside the water filtration unit. Something inside looks back at them.
Say hello.
It's so dark. Kill me.
Whatever you do, collect the eye dial first.
Tom grabs the eye dial from the filtration unit. Ruby, already emotionally distraught after the incident with Bella, is confused. She doesn't know what to do with this individual who lies half submerged in water.
Free the emo bird. Take him to the lockers.
Tom, please, this one can be saved.
Tom and Ruby carefully remove him from the 3 large hooks keeping him in the chamber. It's a rather painful process, and his groans of pain only subside when Tom finally hauls him out of the cramped, flooded chamber. A loud creaking sound catches the attention of Tom and Ruby. The locker in the back of the room has begun to open.
Take Ace's mask. Get the fuck out.
Unfortunately, Ace has already taken his mask. Ruby and Tom get the hell out of Dodge, carrying the other prisoner with them.
Wait, why was his mask still on the table?
Artistic oversight. Tom and Ruby escape from Ace's lair in cold storage. They seal the area behind him. But knowing Ace, it won't hold him for long. Whatever they're going to do, they had better do it fast. Ace is clearly on a mission, and this facility will not be safe for them for much longer. Tom's manly physique allows him to carry the prisoner with relative ease, but his move speed is still reduced. Perhaps things would move faster if he and Ruby split up. Remember, time is of the essence. Go.
Get Stitches from his locker. We might need him later.
It would appear that Locker 5 is already open.
Put Emo Bird into the locker then?
It would take days for the locker to have any kind of effect on the prisoner. Is that really what you'd want anyway?
Give us a hint.
In the time it would take Tom to drag the weakened prisoner to the exit, Ruby could probably reach both the dummy room and then the downstairs console. At least, she could if she took a shortcut.
Got it. Tom, bring the prisoner upstairs. Ruby, jump down the hole.
Tom begins to carry their new acquaintance upstairs, making his way to the surface access hatch. Ruby jumps down into the room below, trying to reach the symbol-laden clock downstairs as quickly as possible. It's only a matter of time until Ace escapes again. And he'll be looking for them. Ruby lands safely in the room below. The backup console here is still not receiving power. She quickly heads downstairs to the clock dial, now that she's recovered the wooden eye peg.
Keep constant radio contact. Leave both on all the time so you both know exactly what's happening even if there's no time to say anything directly.
Good idea. Ruby and Tom both make sure their radios are on. Ruby quickly climbs down into the brig, which is still as broken as ever, and darts into the side room. There, she finally replaces the wooden eye peg and dials it to the symbol that corresponds to the console she used when she first woke up. The brig seems worse than ever. The system returns to power and begins to slowly start up.
Check on Tom.
While Ruby waits for the system to respond, Tom runs into Filbert. Apparently, he shook off a massive dose of tranquilizer rather easily. He menaces with spikes of flesh at Tom. He seems even more ravenously determined than last time, eager to rip Tom to pieces. This is the last thing he needed. He's got to get to the exit.
I don't fucking have time for this!
The hatch is open! Fuck off!
Filbert clearly isn't listening. He is beyond reasoning with now. Filbert lunges at Tom.
Use manly physique to kill Filbert. Tom took him out once, he can do it again.
Tom has had enough of this shit. No chances this time. Tom has no idea how that just happened.
Cool.
Tom continues upstairs with the ex-prisoner. Meanwhile, Ruby has finally accessed the console, and the results are good. Ruby tears ass to get upstairs as fast as possible. As she climbs up the thoroughfare ladder, she hears the door to the cells being opened. Ace won't be far behind, and from the loud noises of him slamming around, he seems angry. Ruby finally reaches the upper level and bursts into the security room, only to find a monstrously gigantic, fleshy abomination covered in eyes, looking like a huge and horribly mutated version of Subject 6. It appears to be cowering in the corner, and doesn't seem to notice Ruby.
He's coming. Ace is coming. He's going to lock me up. I am scared.
Subject 6? Tom?
Out of pity, Ruby tries to call to Subject 6, but it's no good. He sits shivering in his grief, muttering to himself in fear of Ace. Ruby enters the lobby. The ex-prisoner seems to have regained some of his motor skills, and is shakily climbing the now open ladder upwards. Tom says his name is Jay. Tom is visibly shaken. If that giant monster is afraid of Ace, he doesn't stand a chance. Even if he were to manage another burst of adrenaline. Tom begins to talk to Ruby as quickly as possible.
Ruby, listen. Ace will be here in a matter of seconds. There's no time for us to get to the surface and close the hatch. Someone is gonna have to stay behind. Distract him so that the other can get away safely. Ruby, I want you to get to the ladder now. There's no way either of us could survive an encounter with Ace.
Tom.
Bye, Ruby.
Ruby kisses Tom goodbye. Ruby climbs the ladder as quickly as she can. It's time to take a stand.
Huh?
Tom takes this opportunity to get the fuck out.
Yeah, who didn't see that coming?
Tom takes a moment to reflect on how tragic it is that sometimes actions have to have consequences, good or bad.
Tom! I'm so glad you're safe. Good thing I saw you before I slammed the hatch shut.
Tom and Ruby close the door behind them. Jay has been loaded onto the tram.
Roll out on the railroad.
Ruby and Tom hop on the tram and survey the simple controls. Ruby opens the steel door. Beyond it lies fresh air and a long track leading to the mainland, leading over the water. The tram begins to move, leading out towards the land beyond. It's on an automated track, so it will continue on without Ruby or Tom needing to do anything. Choo-choo! The tram pulls away, leaving the station behind. Ruby and Tom head towards land. As the tram slowly crosses the land bridge, Jay sleeps at the fore of the tram, recovering from his ordeal. Tom tosses away all the notes he's been collecting. He is happy just to be alive. He never wants to read another note as long as he lives. Tom breaks out the champagne. He and Ruby decide now is a good time to celebrate. They pour, they toast, they drink.
To freedom.
And what became of Cat and Hare? Did they break free to purer air? To guess their fate we shouldn't dare. Perhaps their tale closed well. But for all the beasts trapped in the nether, all life from out the loch and heather, the flock that could not work together, are sure still trapped in hell. The end.